Why do you suppose so many characters in so many video games sling their gear the wrong way? Like, if it's a right-handed character, as most of them are, they sling their gear left-handed. This is a bad example because it's slung this way, muzzle facing up. The more correct way would be to have the muzzle facing down. But what I'm really thinking of is the way characters in this game are typically portrayed. When they have a rifle on their back, it's slung this way over the left shoulder, which is a left-handed configuration, if you're wearing it in a back scabbard. With slings, take a swig of my drink here. With slings are different from scabbards, but still, there's a principle at work here that is not being observed. I get the impression that it's not being given the respect it deserves. The principle, I mean. The question is why.
Guns! I got them, you need them. I'm always happy to take your money.
I'm sticking with slag.
Words, my friend. No refund.
I mean, is there something wrong with me? Because I do care about details? I sent along my level 20 acid one. Should I send along my level 20 fire one? We'll see.
Buy from me if you want to live. Be careful out there. You can never be too well armed. Take back later to
Torg grips are good to have on Jacob's revolvers. Torg and Jacobs have good synergy with each other in terms of parts. Let me take an allergy pill. McCready. Justin McCready. Pretty sure that when most of us hear the name McCready, we immediately think of McCready from The Thing. Admit it.
Remember to check back for new issues.
And now, for the latest edition of This Just In with Hunter Hellquist. Hunter Hellquist, Hyperion Truth Broadcasting. Today is a day for celebration, Pandorans. The murderous bird known as Bloodwing was killed in a shootout today after Hyperion officials failed to calm its murderous bloodlust. Bloodwing was known for traveling with his inferior human counterpart, an alcoholic sniper named Mordecai. The bird's remains will be available for viewing at the Opportunity Natural Museum sometime in the next few months.
He reiterated the word murderous too many times in one sentence, coming across as redundant. I minored in business management, so I had to take a public speaking class when I was in college. You should have seen my hands shake during some projects. It was a worthy experience, though. I learned a lot of useful tips. If you want to drive home a message, it's okay to reiterate, but don't be too redundant or you'll put people off. So Jack recognizes explosive as an element, which makes me wonder why only Hyperion E-Tech pistols, whether they're dart or spiker, can be exploding or non-elemental, depending on how you think of them. I mean, I would be okay with Hyperion E-Techs being the only ones capable of having exploding as an element. Lots of good stuff here. Still using a white class mod, but that's okay. Go grab that one that I overlooked and then do this while I'm there. Some of this stuff will be done while I'm on the way into the facility. After that, I'll do this.
The engineers working in the Hyperion Preserve are still alive. You're gonna fix that. When I was doing recon out there, I heard them experimenting on 3 badass creatures. Get out there and free them. I want to see a bloodbath for what they did to my bird.
I don't use keys. Maybe I should. That's really the best way to get E-Tech weapons out of that, or any of those. But I don't like having to hassle around with codes and such.
Who needs a medical license when you got style? Come back anytime.
Let me take a swig of my drink here. I know I've described this Hyperion motif that you see on perps and ledges as being like Knight Rider.
I strike from nowhere, obliterating my foe. Quite enjoyable.
But it's also kind of like
The creatures ought to help you tear up the engineers. Make it bloody.
Also kind of reminds me of Flash Gordon. The one from 1980. That's the year I was born. Really?
Now known to me. Time to go to work.
This railgun is effective, but it hardly ever procs, so it might as well be non-elemental. Now look at these moth things. Those were in the first game too.
I disappear.
Well, where'd you all go? Stuck on nothing.
Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work. Ghosting.
Really? No slack. This is why I say Hyperion might have invented E-Tech, but Malawan perfected it. It really is more their style. Why would you ever want to use any sort of sniper rifle that holds 3 rounds, or the equivalent of 3 shots per mag, and is not able to proc every single time? It doesn't even proc 2/3 of the time. Frag Stealer. Really? Did that even do anything? Yeah, I guess it did, but not a whole lot.
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Just a moment. I'm back. I think I listened to all these, I forget.
I found a potential vault hunter, sir. You'll definitely want to hear this. She's a siren.
What?
Unlike Lilith, she seems to have no connection to Iridium. But
Tell me everything. Now.
I have no information on her parents, but as a baby, she was left with the Order of the Impending Storm.
The who?
They're an order of monks who rule the planet of Athenas. The earliest surveillance footage I can find is from 4 years ago.
Play it.
People of Athenas, after years of training and preparation, the Order of the Impending Storm is ready to reveal your savior. Speak, Maya. Speak to your subjects. What she lacks in eloquence, she makes up for in power. Know this, Maya will protect this planet from all forms of evil. From...
Sophus, could I have a word?
Now's not really the time, child.
For years, you said I'd get up there exploring, not smiling and giving speeches.
Your place is not to question, child. Now, smile and wave.
Keep calling me child and see what happens, jackass.
Sucker.
I'm glad she killed that asshole.
You're checked out. Ouch.
Publicly executed him Saigon style. Shoot through that? Nope. Didn't think so, but wasn't entirely sure.
Hey, no. Target in sights.
Prioritize the exploding.
I enjoyed that.
Beat down. Interesting that the design of forklifts hasn't changed much.
Escorted to the slag experiment ward.
I mean, this is basically similar to most of the ones that I've driven, even to the point that it uses. Well, it has a fuel tank on the back. Doesn't necessarily mean it runs on liquid propane. But I prefer LPs, that's liquid propane, over electrics.
On the clock, boys! Crap, he's over there!
Electric forklifts use a battery that weighs like 3,000 pounds. You have to swap them out with a manually operated crane. Not quite like that kind of crane. It's smaller. Doesn't have a cockpit or anything. It has hand controls. 5.9. That must have an accessory. Yeah. Increases fire rate. Basic machine pistol, but not bad. Could maybe contend with a synergy. Now imagine a synergy with that same accessory. First,
The Hyperion Preserve is always accepting applicants for human flag testing.
I've probably mentioned this before, but enemies in Borderlands 1 always make use of barrels.
Creatures released. Security forces dispatched.
A reminder, flag is a byproduct of the human conscious process.
The way these guys tear chunks out of the ground, that kind of reminds me of those monsters from PO'd. That could do the same thing. The apparatus they wear, kind of like a forklift. Forklift meets exosuit. In terms of functionality, it's almost like being a human body. Which would be actually an awesome job if you have a Hufflepuff attitude. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. I just like taking personality tests. My sister kind of likes it, but she used to. I don't know if she still does. I don't know if she's ever taken the test. There's the Pottermore test, and then there are other variations of that. First time I took it, I scored equally for both Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, which is supposedly supposed to not be possible. But after taking it again, I got Hufflepuff first, Ravenclaw second. So rather than being Ravenpuff, I'm actually a Huffleclaw. The funny thing about that is, as an INTJ, I'm supposed to be Slytherin. Quote, supposed, unquote. Caught that one snoozing. Remember how the first game had weapon proficiencies? Shoot it in the flank.
Greetings, badass.
Exposed its underside, I took full advantage of it. $2.95 resale. Might as well have left it. I don't even need the money. It's just a matter of principle. It's not greed, it's frugality. Eviscerated. Once you max that out, that's how you score the best Hyperion skin. Let's see, this won't make that distance. I can't remember what that best Hyperion skin is called. See, their mistake, those rack I made, was they turned and flew toward me. Which means that their flight path becomes easy and predictable. What they should have done, like if they were intelligent instead of just being dumb brutes, is take evasive action. use savvy maneuvering to get close to me, while at the same time making it difficult for me to shoot them down. Wait, why am I giving them advice?
Brother Sophis, I found something.
Yes, what is it?
Research notes from an archaeologist on Pandora.
Pandora? The planet of convicts and cannibals?
Yeah, it sounds incredible. But this archaeologist says that sirens have some sort of connection to Iridium, and the vaults...
Maya, that's enough.
If I traveled to Pandora, I could learn even more about my siren lineage.
That's enough! We have fed you, trained you, protected you. The people of Athenas look to the order of the impending storm for guidance and protection. If you were to leave, this planet would be defenseless.
You keep saying I'm gonna defend this planet. I've trained for years, but I've never actually fought any of this evil the Order's always on about.
Your time will come, I promise. Besides, this planet has everything you could possibly want. Please, child, retire to your room.
Don't call me child.
I apologize. Please retire to your room, Maya.
Ghosty.
Aren't railguns supposed to be able to shoot through multiple enemies? Ha! I blow off one or both of its face flaps. Good enough resale value because it's a launcher.
Your eyes deceive you. An illusion fools you all. I move for the kill.
Yeah. Doll Predator is the best doll skin. You earn that by killing a whole lot of enemies with assault rifles while crouching. I'm almost out of shop, so I'll go ahead and take stuff that's close to 400 resale. See if this actually works. It did. Now that is a thing of beauty. A slag and stab ray count. That gets passed along. Any character can make use of that. On normal mode at TVHM anyway. On UVHM and higher, it's mostly melee characters that can utilize stuff like that. Slag and stab, or slag and stab, or slag and slash. Remember Clytus from Flash Gordon? I used to think his name was colitis, which, you know, that's a medical term, and if you know what it means, it's kind of funny. Clytus, colitis. It means inflammation of the colon, which is actually no laughing matter. It would be irritating to have to do that all over again. Just because I missed a jump. Would prefer acid or fire. I do like using Malawan launchers in conjunction with a slag and stab Malawan sniper rifle, but I prefer acid or fire.
If you got the money, I'll save your goddamn life.
This is Handsome Jack, thanking you, loyal test subject, for helping
That's a good
bring
one.
Pandora into the future.
If you're doing Bandit Zero,
Try not to die.
Will help us uncover new uses for Iridium.
Pleasure doing business.
And you... Seriously? Why are you having me read this crap? This is freaking hilarious. They know we're gonna mutate the hell out of it. Why am I one?
this would be really good with a twin shot accessory. Would be even better, in my opinion anyway, with the Jacob's barrel if we're talking aftermarket configurations for Torg revolvers. Gyrojet revolver. That's kind of awesome.
This is Handsome Jack, thanking you, loyal test subject, for helping bring Pandora into the future. The experiments you'll be put through will help us uncover new uses for Iridium, new cures for medicine, and new... Seriously? Why are you having me read this crap? This is freaking hilarious. They know we're gonna mutate the hell out of it. Why am I one?
Jacob's grip, which is just fine. Fire rate doesn't suffer since it has a flat-off barrel. 1.7 fire rate. That works out just fine. Hyperion stock. Malawan scope. Slag powered with a pig sticker. Not bad, not bad. And I used to think
Tell your friends.
that
Marcus,
the Rakel
welcome to Dr. Zed's portable clinic. What can I do?
This is Handsome Jack, thanking you, loyal
What's the
test
best
subject, for helping bring Pandora into the
Malawan sniper rifle for Sal. Best for Zerking.
uncover new uses
Second only to the Droog.
new cures for medicine,
Well, just let me finish this first. Then I'll continue my thought.
Creatures released. Security forces dispatched.
Too ordinary. Jack has some Elijah C. Scuggs in him. That'll mean nothing to you unless you've seen Freaked, which is a masterpiece, I might add. Cinemassacre has helped rekindle interest in it, but I first saw it back in the 90s, around the time it first came out. First came out in 93.
Seriously? Why are you having me read this crap? This is freaking hilarious. They know we're gonna mutate the hell out of them. Why lie?
Catch you later. See you real soon, I'm sure.
Two words, my friend. No refund.
So, Jack, do you like Cronenberg movies? Or whatever director is equivalent to David Cronenberg in, what is this, the 29th century? I'll get my karate stabby on there. And this. See how much difference a Torg grip makes? 5.9 fire rate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the result of this. Fire rate accelerator accessory. I love that. I love doing that. Good use of your shield there. Torg guns are really good to use against these things. Torg weapons are great against any and all enemies that utilize physical shields of any sort. Any enemies that have yellow health bars.
You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches.
See if I can score a crit on. Well, I'd have to kill it with a crit while it's shielded. That worked out just fine. That's not a bad gun at all. That one's kind of ordinary. My shield can take it. I know it can. Ha-ha. I love doing that. What would you call that? The jackrabbit maneuver? It's really got a pit. Well, do droids get pissed off? A claptrap can, or it seems to be able to. When I say a claptrap, I mean any claptrap. If I was talking about claptrap, I would have said he, because we know that clap had that clap he has, or it is programmed with a distinctly male personality. I guess we can assume so, because he has a male voice. Or is it wrong for me to make that assumption? I don't know anymore.
I'll keep you that way.
Flat off grip. Actually works on a Torg.
Loyal test subject for helping bring Pandora into the
Not good synergy on a Jake.
you'll be put through will help us uncover new uses for Iridium.
Fuse time is too high.
Seriously? Why are you having me read this crap? This is freaking hilarious. They know we're gonna mutate the hell out of them. Why lie?
See how this compares. I actually like the hole puncher better, despite the stats. And yeah, I know there's a level's worth of difference there. I'll go ahead and sell that. What if you could have a twin shot accessory and a blade at the same time?
For helping bring Pandora into the future.
That would be insane.
Will help us uncover new uses for Iridium, new cures.
Thanks for the scratch.
Seriously? Why are you having me read this crap? This is freaking hilarious. They know we're gonna mutate the hell out of them. Why lie?
Out of my peripheral vision, I looked down and I saw that leg and thought it was a Torg rocket launcher. Green label. Even though there was no green light coming out. Like I said, peripheral vision. Taking a swig of my drink. Frivolous tactical reload. Oh, let's get this on here. Haven't used this yet. Look at that. 2 rarity ratings higher and 1 level higher. Baffling. It's like they took the concept of pistols, submachine guns, and assault rifles, and they mixed them all up. So that they're all the opposite. They go in the opposite order that they should go. That probably wasn't a crit.
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Blech. That kind of reminds me of Street Trash. I like the Doll Reflex sight better than the Torg, even though the Torg has less zoom, and I prefer less zoom. It's also overbuilt, as I often say. Overbuilt, as in, hey, that's not bad either. 4.6 because of Jacob's grip. So it's not great, but it's also not bad.
You
I need to put my acid on. No. Stop doing that. Oh, look at that. Mallow-on barrel with Jacob's grip. I'll still favor the synergy, but I might as well get some use out of this thing. And I need more acid. Stop it. Ugh. Stop acting against me. Is that an electric? I keep finding electric launchers. I prefer to break shields with some other weapon and then hit the enemy with acid or fire. So I don't commonly use slag or electric with a launcher.
Let's get him!
I disappear.
That's a strong shield.
And I disappear. A ghost amidst the combat, preparing to strike.
Hardly ever get anything from loot midgets on normal mode.
Ghosty.
Didn't get jack squat from you, is that? That wasn't Jenkins, was it? I didn't think Jenkins showed up until you were in what some call Jackville. I refuse to call it that. To me, it will always be Firestone. Now I need... Stop doing that. Ugh. Back and forth, back and forth. Always against my will. I know it's not the game, it's my hardware. Don't like having to fire this thing from the hip.
I enjoy that.
I mean, let me make sure I haven't bypassed this. I have not.
No! Please, no!
What's going on?
World reveal.
What is this?
Today is a great day, Maya. Today, your training is finally put to use.
Who are these people?
Terrorists, criminals, evil men. You will destroy them, as is your duty. This is what you have trained for.
What? To execute unarmed men?
Do not question me, child. These men are a danger. Brother Harker, bring the first sinner forward. Yes, Brother Surface. On your knees, sinner. Oh God, not her! Not her!
What is this man guilty of?
Do not question. I promise. Okay, I'll get you your time. Just don't let her near me. What? Do not listen, child. Execute him.
Ah, to hell with it.
Put me down!
So as mentioned before, it's not a tithe doesn't count for anything unless it's given willingly. If it's forcefully expropriated, that's extortion. The word tithe means 1/10. I wonder how much progress I've made on Eviscerated. I don't feel like checking it right now. I'm a customization junkie. Can't aim with that too much zoom mellow on sight. Rather, I should say I can't aim at this range against evasive enemies. See? This is the problem with conventional thinking. Conventional thinking is such that more zoom is always better with any type of sight on any type of weapon. Slag or stop that. Ugh. How about fire? I hate TDR barrels on Jacob's revolvers. I can tolerate it if it has a reflex sight. Because it why would you ever not want to have a front sight? It just doesn't make any sense. Two for one. That's how I like it. Quigley down under style. And not only does the TDR pistol barrel lack a front sight, but on a Jacobs, you don't even line up the rear sight if it's green label. Or blue, or better for that matter, if it has iron sights. The iron sights, as per typical for a Borderlands game, don't line up right. I've never in my life understood that. It's not rocket surgery. If you're going to do iron sights, do them right. They exist for a reason.
Do not touch the iridium vat unless you have alerted a Hyperion technician first. Preferably one with a camera.
Flat off grip. What is that? A doll stock? I actually like the Scout. I might have mentioned this before, but this is one doll sniper rifle I actually like. But I prefer them to have no doll parts. I like them to fire at 3-round bursts, no more than 3 per burst, and a bare minimum mag size of 12. I've seen them up to a max of 18, and even that would be considered skimpy.
All personnel are reminded not to speak to
In
or
real-world
make eye
terms.
contact with potential test subjects. Any Hyperion soldier found guilty of experiencing sympathy will be forced to switch places with the test subject.
Don't make me mash on the use key multiple times. Liquid propane and propane accessories. Way easier and less time consuming to swap LP tanks off the back of an LP forklift compared to an electric with that great big battery. I need this one. Should clear out the obstacles first. Even though they would be more of a threat in Borderlands 1. For reasons aforementioned.
Creatures released. Security forces dispatched.
Did he just mention hazardous environment? Probably a reference to Half-Life.
Stop killing those bastards. That's enough. For now. Come on back.
Did that badass stalker just disappear? Now this. Did I mention PO'd earlier? I remember talking about those rock-hurling monsters from PO'd and how these guys with their exosuit forklifts.
Doing what I'm told.
Nuremberg excuse. That doesn't fly with me. Explodey go nuts a go go. I bet that'll hold 2 instead of 3. Yep. Despite having a flat-off triple barrel. I can't comprehend that. I mean, yeah, I know it's a game. It runs on, like, I don't know, mathematical equations or whatnot. But I don't care. I don't care because that is an inferior standard. Taking a swig of my drink here. All right. I know what I need. This. Yeah. Get close to me. I don't want to lose that loot. Yeah. Saw something purple fall through the map. Hopefully it was just iridium. Screw that noise. It's not worth farming that thing because you almost never, I mean, every single time, everything it drops, most of it other than the money that falls out will fall through the map. Is there some way to decrease the propensity for that to happen? A perfectly parted long rider. Does that mean it holds 2 or 3? 3. Unless you're playing Nisha in the pre-sequel, in which case it could hold 6, depending on your build. Which means the bare minimum capacity is 4 for a long rider. Nisha can get the most use out of a long rider, any variant. Dropping anything worth less than 300. I know before I said 400. Well, that's a green. Slump. Oh no! Figured I'd have to take a little bit of damage, but I didn't. It's not murder. You're enemy combatants. You need to learn to understand that. I mean, I wouldn't call it murder if you killed me. No double standard here. Heavy hitter. Dig it. Just going for a crit. Guess I shouldn't have just stood there.
World revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Compared to Zer0, who's... I mean, he has skills that pertain specifically to sniper rifles. But Morty, he had that sort of thing and skills that pertain to any and all sorts of handguns. As well as melee. 3 types of handguns in Borderlands 1. Repeaters, machine pistols, and revolvers. And then you had rare subvariants like burst fire repeaters, which in the nomenclature of our time and place would be defined as machine pistols. But in Borderlands 1, the term machine pistol refers to a repeater with body 5.
Million customers. Don't let it go to your head. Pleasure doing business. Tell your
2 basic
friends
types.
what
One
you did.
that's full auto, which I'm pretty sure is the one that most of us prefer. And then the other type is burst fire, and it fires a 5-round burst. I don't like those. I don't like those at all.
Looking forward to see Mox.
If it's burst fire, I drastically prefer a 3-round burst over any other.
I've always got
2 is
good
too
stuff.
few,
Check
but it's
back
tolerable.
later.
4 can be tolerable under the right circumstances. Like the double tap that fires a 4-round burst in 2x2 configuration, I like that.
I'm legally obligated to tell you.
The Hornet fires a 2-round burst. Crom the sidearm fires tri-burst, and it's made by Atlas. And it's electric. And you almost always get at least 1 elemental proc per shot. You might burn through a mag and have 1 burst without a proc, but that's a whole lot more tolerable than the sort of thing you usually encounter with burst fire elementals. They usually just don't work very well. They're too inconsistent. And I don't operate that way. I like consistency.
Come back anytime. Who needs a medical license when you got style? Set out. Get your health and shields right here.
Which probably explains why I like Jacobs and Dahl. So I say while selling a Dahl sniper rifle. And it's a Scout. The kind I like best. But I already explained why. This is a very niche style of shotgun. Works well in Showdown. Another electric. Did I really have 2 of those? Same barrel, same exhaust port, different grips. This one's Bandit, this one's Torg. I have the synergy, so I'll sell this. But if I didn't have that synergy, I'd hold on to this. It pairs well with this here. Flat off grip. Malawan, flat off, Hyperion, and a pig sticker. Malawan barrel, Jacobs grip. flat off barrel, TD, or grip. Would be cool to have pistol and sniper rifle configured the same way. I don't know, I guess there you go again, just to be thematic, doing that thing you do. Making me paranoid.
Catch you later.
And stop it. Stop doing that. I'll sell this.
Almost dead? I can fix that.
The Long Rider needs to have a Torg reflex sight in order to be
Try not to
aimable.
die.
1 minute left.
Catch you later.
Because it has neither a functional rear sight nor a functional front sight. I just don't understand that. Never have, never will. Iron sights should be all you need on a shotgun. Rifle sights, ghost ring sights, anything like that. Plain old bead is obsolete.
In addition to being highly entertaining, the data you found may hold the key to stopping the spread of slag poisoning.
This is a really good pistol. Twin shot with a good fire rate. Fun for zerking, but of course I'm going to take this. And that's actually a pretty good stockpile relic, because if you're going to stockpile anything,
Can I help you?
Might
I
as
have
well
things
be.
to do, mouth breather.
Might as well be launcher. Mouth breather. And this came out before Stranger Things. When I was a kid, I literally was a mouth breather. Because I couldn't breathe through my nose. I had to have a series of surgeries before I was able to breathe through my nose. Shield capacity, perfect. Next, I'll do Rackaholics Anonymous. Rewards for that are Malawan or Doll. Probably should get some more use out of the Quasar before passing it on. I could pass this on. Some things I just can't get rid of until I've got absolute maximum use out of them across multiple characters, regardless of level. Wait, what? That's not what I put in there. What the hell's going on? Oh, you're doing this to me again? Stop that. It's not rocket surgery. This shouldn't be difficult. Interesting pair right there. Imagine zerking with these. You ever zerked with a pair of splat guns? That could be fun.
Welcome to my humble shop. Farewell, friend.
Check the shops.
Dead. I'll keep you that way.
Cheeky Bricky
Remember
Stalker.
me if you want to live. Zer0.
I like Razored Stalker. I think.
Welcome to Dr.
Been a while
Zed's
since I've actually
portable
used a
clinic.
Stalker
What
class
can I do
mod.
for you? About anything good? My weapon machines will fix that for you. I'm sure we'll be doing this again soon enough.
Did I put my Quasar on? Yes.
Lock and load.
Don't really need this since I have the Heartbreaker. See how it compares stat-wise. About what I'd expect. Pretty sure the greater burn damage is only the result of it being one level higher.
Tear the bad guys a new one, huh?
Will do.
Goodbye, friend.
19 Red Rock.
That's just the beginning. Every Hyperion bastard's gonna pay for Bloodwing. Every one of them.
I infrequently perish. Of course, that's a reference to one of Morty's catchphrases from Borderlands 1, I never die. And the name Trespasser is a reference to his trespass skill. Now I have a fourth item to put in Clappy's stash. First, let's get a look at this. Flat off grip on a bolt action, which means it actually improves your dexterity. Boost fire rate, improve dexterity since it's bolt action. You see the connection there. Malawan stock. Doll scope. These aren't the best parts to have on any Jake. Except for the Vladoff grip. That's good to have. I don't really know just how beneficial that is to have on a white or blue label Jacobs sniper rifle. Those are the ones that are bolt action. Morty is portrayed as a sniper in this game, whereas in Borderlands 1 he was a hunter. He didn't specifically do only sniping. Just the same, Rick wasn't just a melee brawler. He was also the explosives guy. A demo man, if you will.
Almost dead? I can fix that. Stay alive out there. Welcome, customer. Good luck. I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor. Be careful out there.
Drove up a cliffside. Wait a moment. This isn't the vehicle I need for this. I just remembered saw blade works better. Come on! I'm not letting go of the moving forward. You're not moving forward. What the hell?
There's a alcohol! Don't let him shoot the booze, Craig!
Poor kid.
Moxie's giving you Ruby if you
He's
give her
44.
Friggin', that Bimbo lost Ruby years ago and I found it. She wouldn't even have it if it weren't for me. No. Bring me the booze. I'll give you one of my old sniper rifles.
Not the only one that I'm interested in. I know I bypassed a bunch of them. Look how many of them fly off in random directions. I don't feel like dealing with that. It shouldn't be possible for them to fly over.
Jack, I went in underground, I find Ruby, and bam! She drops me for the biggest fascist Pandora's ever seen.
Hey, until he set all those people on fire, Jack seemed like a pretty nice guy. It's not my fault Mordecai was more interested in plucking his bird's feathers than plucking my... Damn it, I'm so angry I can't even come up with a sexy innuendo!
Jack isn't technically a fascist. Not in the Mussolini sense. The word gets thrown around a lot.
You got them all. Now bring them to me, and I'll give you my rifle.
No. Those to me instead of that alcoholic bird lover, and I'll give you Ruby.
Ruby is the better reward. Unless you're doing a doll allegiance. If you're doing doll allegiance, go for Morty.
Go through. People waiting lists won't live.
milkshake!
Making progress on eviscerated. Only with the ones that are... Oh, do you have an E-Tech? He does. Or was that... That kind of looked like a Slagga. Yeah. Not an E-Tech. Since that was an SMG... Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have been E-Tech anyway. Those purple shard-looking blasts. Being fired at that rate would not be fired from an E-Tech pistol. Gwen's head.
Oh, what's in the box?
And I'm not a hodunk lover. I just prefer the Maggie. Really?
Get your health and shields right here.
These are both mediocre. Actually, no. They're serviceable. Serviceable, not exceptional. Nothing here at this point will be higher than level 18. Ah, see? You're screwing with me again. And I could sense it. I could tell because I saw the flash move up here for no reason. That needs to stop happening. Or you're fired.
Nothing like a good sale. 2 words, my friend. No refund.
Capiche? Oh.
Hope you've had your shots. Be careful out there.
Oh, I've got to go on another bug hunt. I've just gotta...
To Dr. Zed's portable clinic. What can I get for you? Welcome to my humble shop.
Oh, I don't think there's anything I want that you could get
I'm
me.
sure we'll be doing this again soon.
Yeah, I know the health thing is because I got into and out of a vehicle. That issue also occurs in Borderlands 1. depending on which skills you go for with which characters. Alright, what should I use? It looks like what I've got ought to do just fine. Psych. Actually, I think it did touch me. It's almost impossible to dodge their attacks in this game. Unlike Borderlands 1, you could actually dodge. Overshot. Typical. Ha, you see what I did there? I just estimated how that would ricochet. I should try that in Borderlands 1 with... any SMG that has Twisted Barrel 3. Twisted Barrels are great. Still haven't found a Hyperion Allegiance relic. Very low zoom with this scope, which is actually good, I guess, but it begs the question, why not just use iron sights? Or if it's on a splat gun, this could be an somewhat ideal, except that it cuts off your peripheral vision, sight for a splat gun if it was properly calibrated. But it isn't. It anti-is. Need to save these spider ants for a Goliath. But before I mess with the Goliath, I'm gonna mess with Greedo and Boba Fett.
Eyes deceive you, an illusion fools you all. I move for the kill.
What is that device he's got?
The true world revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Two electric Hyperions. Back to back. Hyper Ion. But I don't need that. Swig of my drink here. Sounds like I need it. Don't go get your fool selves killed just yet. want a Goliath to level up. Progress on that skin that I want. And there's a Goliath. I usually like to use a Jacob's revolver to shoot off the helmet.
Get ready to feel my fingers in your eyeballs!
Idiot.
You're gonna be screaming! More death! Get over!
Best to do one Goliath at a time.
I'll rip your skull open with my thumb! Try breathing!
For best result. That way you leave the maximum number of enemies for them to fight that you can manage. Non-shooty enemies that aren't too tough. If you get two Goliaths to fight with each other, usually you'll screw yourself out of getting the best gear from them.
You're gonna be screaming!
Unless you have extreme patience. Get two Goliaths to level up all the way, then somehow manage to pit them against each other. That's typically not worth the time or effort. Lunge at me. Zone sportsmanship style. Flat off something. Bandit. Looks like it might be electric. Fire. Fuse time is too high. Red rock. If nothing else, I can always make use of that. Make use of that. What's been going on over here in my absence?
Stop fighting so hard! Should not! You really shouldn't have done that! More death!
This guy's leveling fast, and I like that.
You better goddamn scream for me!
Have you ever gotten a fully leveled Goliath to fight Greedo and Boba Fett? I have. That's kind of fun. Kind of funny, too. Guess these guys are kind of like the Rancor in a certain sense. Like a mini humanoid Rancor.
Feel my fingers in your eyeballs.
Pseudo Stomp.
You better.
Oh, you missed the opportunity. Pseudo Stomp.
Murdering you is gonna feel so right.
Your wind up took too long. Just punch the damn thing. Idiot. There.
You better
Ultimate Badass. Probably a reference to Aliens Special Edition. Remember what Hudson says? About being the ultimate, the state of the badass art. Now that's after he describes himself as the ultimate badass. Just one punch is all it takes. There.
I'll crack your skull.
Not even the closest thing to you. Why are you there?
Power! More! You can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I'll kill you.
Electric bandit pistol with a blade attachment. Hyperion barrel, TDR grip, and it looks like maybe a bandit scope. Now where's my blue? There's supposed to be one blue, one purple. Or at least that's how it typically goes. Nope. Torg reflex sight. It's that oddly canted double drum. The shape of the magazine on bandit pistols doesn't really have any bearing on capacity. It's either that awkwardly canted double drum if it's green, perp, or ledge, or it's just a basic magazine. If it's white or blue. So if you Zerk with them, or if you do Bandit Cell, either maybe you might favor the blue ones, or just always put it in his right hand. If you're doing Bandit Cell, a good combo of non-red text common standard issue weapons would be knew I wouldn't be able to do that again. To have a Slagan SMG, like the Slaga, in his left hand. Maybe, and a machine pistol of some sort in his right hand. Maybe a gub, maybe a rat-a-tatter. I love playing Zer0. Krieg is fun too, but Zer0 is more my style. Except for the whole sniper thing. Sniper rifles, for me, are usually not primary weapons. They're usually backup weapons. If you get a corrosive ruby, I guess that's about as close as you can get to a pestilent defiler in this game.
Got no missions for you.
Snork face. Sort of.
Hope you've had your shots.
Ha! I knew it. I knew something got sold that I didn't want sold. I could sense it yet again. And here's why. I made sure to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I recall seeing that before. I went out on this excursion with 7 out of 30. You're not going to screw me over without I get wind of it. Yes, I phrased it that way on purpose. As an homage to some character in some movie. What was it? What am I thinking of? Oh yeah, Dennis Hopper's character from Space Truckers. Great movie. Lots of fun.
Come on back anytime. You're my millionth customer. The farewell, friend.
Old school Malawan. Speaking of which, I might have mentioned this in the previous episode, but I found a level 25 volcano on playthrough 1 as brick with the intent to give it to my buddy Hyphen, that's his gamer handle, my INFP BFF, for him to use with his morning. And as I recall, I think it had pretty decent parts too. I have a Malawan sniper rifle for my brick explodey, basically acting as a placeholder for a Torque Cobra. An explodey doll or a Hyperion sniper rifle would work just the same. I just happen to have...
Guns.
Hold that thought. And it has a doll grip. Hyperion stock flat off scope. I would have almost considered buying this and passing it off to another character just to experiment with. 14 round mag, but it has a doll grip, which means it fires a 4-round burst, which is 1 too many. So screw it. Screw it. And this. While aiming down sights, you fire a 9-round burst in 3x3 configuration.
I always buy guns you don't need. Good luck.
That makes it a novelty item, in my opinion. Oh, and I meant to use the Quasar some more. I will next time.
Almost dead? I can fix that. You can never be too well armed. Welcome, customer. Farewell, friend.
What am I gonna do?
When you think murder, think Marcus Munitions.
It's not murder if they're enemy combatants.
Remember, we're always open. You're an organ donor, right?
Jacobs with the doll paint job. I could just sell this trespasser since it doesn't have synergistic parts. Sorry, Morty. Moxie offers the better reward. Again, unless you're doing the doll allegiance run.
Here's Ruby. Treat her well.
Would prefer acid or fire or slag, but electrical do. I could do that thing that some people do and keep exiting out and coming back in until it's got just the right parts and everything, but I really, really hate doing that. breaks my concentration, it breaks the immersion, it takes me out of the game, etc. Level 20, level 20. Well, you know what? I could pass those along. At the same time. Because they're going to become outmoded at the same time. Good pair to Zerk with, especially if the ruby is slag and you're focusing on the core game, because if you're not focusing on the core game and instead move on to DLCs, etc., well, you can just use a grog nozzle. And if you've got a grog nozzle, then maybe you might prefer a Karoti Go Nuts ruby.
Who told you about this place? I'll kill him. And stay on.
Oh. Skipping that one. Once again, I didn't mean to pick it up, but I did. I could keep going. I kind of feel like it. I could go and become a slab, or I could save that till next time.
Nice.
Not bad, not bad. That looks like a perfect hybrid. Dull barrel, dull grip. See how it compares to this. Fire rate and mag size. The only edge this has over this. Here's an example of peripheral vision and situational awareness. You see how close these are together? Just a little bit of zoom with iron sights to represent focusing on target. That's tolerable. A whole lot of zoom cuts off a whole lot of your peripheral vision. That confuses the eyes and the brain. If it's iron sights or a scope. I mean, no, if it's iron sights or a reflex sight. If it's anything other than a scope. Iron sights, reflex sight, dot sight, etc. Lemon lime pistol to match my lemon lime duds. And let's see how this compares to this. It's enough of a difference to justify keeping both. I don't like the spinning gun barrel on any type of weapon. It looks dumb because it hangs down. Makes no sense, mechanically. But if I am going to use a spinning gun barreled assault rifle, it'll most likely be Dahl. When it comes to Torg, the Lance, which has a Jacobs barrel, always my top choice. Tease and you are, hey, another Hyperion. Notice it had a Malawant. Yeah, about what I expected. Now let's see how it compares to this. The same as this does. If you're looking only at the stats. That's one mistake some people make in Borderlands 1. They only look at the stats. When judging weapons. And the reason that's a mistake is because you also should, you don't have to, but it would be prudent, so you should consider the nature of the brand as well as the stats. I've watched. That's not bad. I've watched so many live streams where people would just sell a well-parted stomper without ever taking it for a spin. Level appropriate, well-parted stomper. Just because they assume that all burst fire rifles are lame. The majority of them absolutely are. The ones with 12-round mags, so pointless. But some will have 18-round base capacity. One of the absolute best combat rifles. Another blue. Being good to me. Not bad, not bad. Two of the best combat rifle types in Borderlands 1 are...
Welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I get for you?
What are the Cobra and the Stomper. Hyperion makes the best Cobras. Dahl makes the best Stompers. Some might say Dahl actually makes the best combat rifles.
I'll patch you up whenever you need.
Overall. Actually, yeah, I would say that. Although Hyperions will always be more accurate. A Dahl of the same level, with the same parts, will always be more powerful. A Dahl combat rifle in Borderlands 1 will always have a bare minimum accuracy of 87.0. At least that I've seen. And that's if it has barrel 1 and is built from the standard material type, which I think is material 2. TDR combat rifles are typically trash. Ts. They really need to have quality parts to be worth using. With a TDR combat rifle, you typically want it to be built entirely from at least 2 Type 3 parts or better, and then it can withstand having 1 Type 1 part. It can get away with having, like, let's say, a Type 1 stock. The quality of stock makes a noticeable difference with combat rifles and machine guns in Borderlands 1, depending on brand. A dual combat rifle can typically get away with having a Type 1 stock. Or stock 1. That's what it's actually called, stock 1. There's another tease. Stock 1 is typically for combat rifles, and stock 2 is typically for machine guns. Tease. But the Hyperion Sentinel always has stock 2. To my knowledge, it's the only Borderlands 1 combat rifle that has stock 2. Just the same, Roland's rusty machine gun that he starts with, Tease, which is a flat-off, is built from barrel 1, body 1, and stock 2. Barrel 1 and body 1 are typically only found on combat rifles, not machine guns. Numbnuts. Walk in here and stand in my way. At the worst possible moment. Mal1 barrel, TDR grip, 16 round mag, not good enough. I can tolerate as low as an 18 round mag. But I have difficulty tolerating any less than that in a machine pistol.
Please insert any donated organs into the receptacle below.
Oh, this is totally ruined by that TDR scope. TDR grip, that's fine on an elemental. Doll stock, pretty sure that's the most desirable. Base damage is not the primary consideration. There we go again. With an elemental weapon. That's actually not bad. I don't need it since I've got this, but this only fires, well, 3 shots per mag, and this fires 5. It appears to hold 9, which means it actually holds 10. Now I have 8. Since I got this,
Catch you later. You can always trust the gun at your side.
I've gotten... Fuse time is too high. I've gotten a lady fist before that multiple times, if I recall, built exactly the same way. Perfect hybrid.
Haven't found anything good? My weapon machines will fix that for you.
This is a hybrid too. Malawan with a Malawan exhaust, TDR barrel, TDR grip, and then it has a banded scope.
Your cash ain't worth a thing if you don't spend it.
Launchers are TDR grip on a launcher is not a bad thing to have.
Farewell, friend.
It's the vault hunter they've been talking about.
Depending on total capacity.
Welcome, customer. Don't die.
I think it's most preferable on a bandit launcher.
If you got the money, I'll save your golden life. Stay alive.
Because it improves that reload speed.
Careful out there.
By the way, if I ever did, see, oh, I only need one more Rid Rock. If I ever did, what do they call it, a specialized loot run, where you have to pick one label color and stick with it throughout the whole game, across all difficulties, I would do green, and I would do it as Krieg. Either Krieg or Sal. And I would get lots of use out of rocket launchers, and I would definitely make use of the rocket regen technique. Using any and all absorb shields and other blue. Looks like a bandit machine gun with a flat-off barrel, which I can barely see.
Not bad.
How was I able to make that out in the dark? I have no idea. Torg, bandit, flat-off barrel, and it's topped off with a Jacob's sight that it does, Jacob's scope, and it doesn't need any scope whatsoever, with 81.7 accuracy. So it gets sold. You stick a non-removable, structurally superfluous sight on a gun, I won't even use it. I'll sell it, unless it's some fancy schmancy E-Tech, like what I've got right here. Even if it's a quad, I'll sell it or give it to someone else if I'm playing co-op. Tease. Huh. Tease. Guess I don't really need that. Since I've got this cohesion hybridification. 1.8 fire rate. Despite having a Jacob's grip. Hyperion stock, Hyperion scope. And then this. Hyperion grip, Jacob's stock, Vladov scope, Malawan barrel. And I still like the look of that. Malawan barrel on a Hyperion sniper rifle. Especially if it has the lemon lime color scheme. The yellow looks pretty cool too. Nine-round mag. I'll keep it tested out and see how its proc rate fares compared to this. Tease. Tease. Hey. It's got a Malawan grip. All scope though. See how that compares to my acid stabby.
I don't got all day, Skaglik.
So I bought this one last time. Shotgun, pistol, SMG.
This never happened.
See, why does it default up like that when I make a purchase? That messes with my head every time that happens. Now, as expected, the competition is, in fact, overall better. If only it was slag with a pig sticker. Elemental stats are the same, despite the Malawan barrel on the one. That baffles my boggle. These two look good together. It's like they were meant to be paired with each other. Even more so if it's two different elements. More efficient than E-Tech. I'll probably hold on to this slag and slash E-Tech splat gun even after it's outmoded. Tease. tested alongside slag and stab sniper rifle. Tease. 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 Malawan, Jericho. Would be better with slag since it has a pig sticker on it.
If he ain't dead, I'll keep you that way.
Yeah, if I didn't already have this. Then there was that fire one. Malawan grip, Jacob stock, Hyperion scope. It keeps defaulting. Messing with my head. Because it's an action not controlled by me.
Set out! Try not to die.
There'll always be something to fight.
The machine thinks it knows better than I do. But it doesn't. That's been proven multiple times.
Can't stay here forever.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's portable clinic. What can I get for you? See you real soon, I'm sure.
Really only need one weapon with a pig sticker on it at any given time. Stash this one. Just a plain old green, but served me really well so far. Not ready to get rid of it. But after I finish this next mission, I will probably be level 26, and the level of equipment available to me from like shops, these gambling machines, etc., will be, I don't know, 22 or 24, I forget which. Dull scope on this one. What did the other one have? Flat off? Yeah. This electric one, if I didn't already have that E-Tech railgun. Oh, look at this. Would have been useful against stalkers. It's been a while since I've had a fire sniper. Underscoped for its capabilities. I'm gambled down to something below 70,000. I won't gamble myself broke. Tease. Hulk. When I was doing a green only run, that Hulk would most certainly be one of my weapons of choice. More so as Krieg, less so as Sal. Tease. I don't commonly use pump action or bolt action guns as Sal, because they're not ideal for zerking. Tease. Oh, I went down below 70,000. It did not.
What you want?
Initially.
You better stay on.
Notice it.
If you got the money, I'll save your gall darn life.
Pretty decent Hulk right there. That thing that keeps happening happened again. Bandit forearm, Hyperion stock. No structurally superfluous scope. 7 rounds, 3 barrels, so it actually holds 9. 3 shots per mag. And that's just fine for the type of weapon that it is. And that accuracy rating is serviceable. Shotguns in this game run off a different accuracy scale compared to the first game. At least I think they do. Because shotguns in this game can get away with having a numerically low accuracy rating. Not bad, not bad.
See you soon. You can always trust the gun at your side. Don't have too much fun.
But as long as they put the majority of pellets or gyrojets, if it's a Torg, on target at room length distances. Look at all these Hyperion grenades. But none that I need.
Farewell,
And that's good enough.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's portable clinic. What can I get for you?
Put the majority of that stuff on target, that's good enough.
See you real soon, I'm sure. Catch you later.
All of these have Jacob stocks and relatively low-powered scopes. 2 have Dahl. 1 has Vladov. These 2 have Hyperion grips. This one has Malawan. So one of these has a Malawan barrel. The other has a Malawan grip. And they both have the same elemental stats. Would not have expected that. I would have figured that the barrel would have more effect than the grip. Did I leave anything in these? No. 71463. That's fine. Still no slag and stab. Hyperion sniper rifle. I think I would take any grip, any stock, any barrel, any scope by this point, since I'm so desperate to have fun with one of those. But I would hazard an educated guess that it would not be as much fun as the closest comparable Malawan equivalent. because of factors like proc chance and hip fire accuracy. Till next time, catch you on the flip side, and see you next mission, slaboids.